Hello there, Reddit readers and listeners, and welcome to Woven Webs, where we bring you life stories ranging from the somewhat typical to those on the very fringe. Today in a relationships subreddit, Mike Hawks Big writes in, "My wife suddenly wants separate finances. I'm a 30-year-old guy, and my wife, who is also 30, wants to keep our finances separate all of a sudden. Am I overreacting?" Here's the story. We moved in together in March right after we got married, and I was financially supporting the both of us since she had no job. Prior, she was living with her sister and planning on getting her master's degree. I added her to my only checking account. She had $2,000 in her own account, which she hasn't touched. Fast forward to July. 2 weeks after she gets a job, she says that going forward, we should keep our finances separate. Now, this rubs me the wrong way, and I say, interesting that when I was the only one earning, all the money was ours. But now that you have a job, now things are yours versus mine. A little backstory. From March to July, I've spent at least $10,000 on furniture, appliances for us, and $4,000 to have her green card filed. So she responds saying that for the next 5 or 6 months, we'll pause on separating things and keep things together to make things fair, since I've paid for basically everything. Basically, all our income goes into our joint account. Now, yesterday, we have this discussion again. She says she's firm on keeping things separate, but we should both do our research and come up with a plan we can both agree on. So, nothing is final for now, but she did mention that since she makes less than I do, it wouldn't be fair for her if we split the expenses 50-50. I make $74,000 a year with a 401k, dental, and health care that also covers her. She works under the books since she can't legally work yet, so she has no taxes withheld, but also no benefits. She makes $3,200 a month in cash. She says if things ever got ugly between us, she needs a sense of security that she will have a financial cushion to rely on. I told her it feels as if it's an insurance plan to protect her against me and that she doesn't fully trust me. I feel like she's being too focused on her plan B, but she says she's trying to be practical about her future, and I responded saying, "What about our future?" She told me I'm overreacting, only emotionally and not thinking from her perspective. She says she has trauma from her abusive sister threatening to kick her out multiple times when she had no job, and she doesn't want to feel that unsafe again. I made it clear to her I need time to process this because if this was discussed before marriage or right as we moved in together, I wouldn't feel this sour about it as I am right now. The timing of all this rubs me the wrong way. And she says, even if things are separate, everything is still ours. But it doesn't feel like it to me. Am I overreacting? Am I being unreasonable and emotional about this? How should I proceed? What is fair? And in the comments, the first one is afraid since 5363, quoting the part that says, and $4,000 to have her green card filed. Yeah, that part gave me pause. On its face, nothing wrong with helping your partner get the green card filed. But when they're paying for everything, sharing all your money and resources, and they're cool with that until they start earning money, then your money is our money, but her money is her money. Something isn't right. Galaxy Stars Moon writes, "OP, I've experience with this as I immigrated my husband here on a K-1 visa, which I presume you guys also did since you moved in so fast and she still can't work. To me, her request is a giant gaping red flag, and it will affect you during the removal of conditions phase. They want to see some kind of joint account between you and you guys both sharing finances in some way. Joint bank account, joint credit card, something. My suggestion would be to fire back at her that you need a joint marital fund account, checking and savings, and you each calculate how much you contribute based on household expenses and your equal share of those expenses with your income disparity in mind. So maybe you do 55%, and she does 45%. If she's unwilling to do this, I would be heavily reconsidering your sponsorship of her visa. Period. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. This is a huge red flag. I'm also going to tell you she needs to stop working under the table like yesterday if you want to stay with her. This can get her permanently banned from the U.S. Pig Grumbles writes in, "Yeah, is she using you for your green card? That's the vibe I'm picking up." And an underlying comment says, "And she's making cash at mystery job." Frosty Dub writes, 100% I was reading, though, saw a green card and said out loud, "There it is." As soon as she didn't need you for money, she separated her money. As soon as she doesn't need you for a green card, she will separate from you. Another comment, DMAX XX77, haha, me too. As soon as I read the word green, I knew what the next word was. That's a huge red flag. It's very strange that she's here on a visa, and now she has a job that pays a lot under the table, and she wants to keep her money separate. But before she had the job, she wanted everything to be shared. Sounds like she's basically using him for money. Raphael Septian 1 writes in, "This reminded me of a guy I used to work with. I'm just going to say it. He didn't have much going for him in terms of looks, personality, etc. Anyhow, one day he had a picture on his desk of him and a very attractive Southeast Asian woman who he had just met for the first time in person on a trip. They were engaged. Ha! He seemed pretty pumped about it. I'm not sure when it happened, but sure enough, she ditched his ass when she got what she wanted. It was very predictable. The guy was kind of a creep, and I had trouble feeling bad for him getting used in a clearly transactional relationship." Mom's special friend writes, "Very concerning if you are sponsoring her visa. I would be extremely uncomfortable with this." And a responding comment, "Yeah, that money will likely be sent back to support her family or hidden. Plus, do you want Uncle Sam involved by evading taxes on a non-U.S. citizen? To be doing this so soon after the marriage is sketchy. You should still be in the honeymoon phase." Working Bad 4613 writes in, "I've known several guys who married on visas, and except for one, once she got her permanent residency, they cleaned them out, divorced, and moved on." Genuine Clam Hat writes, "If she doesn't fully trust you, then you two should have never gone ahead with the marriage. You are sponsoring her visa. She came to you with nothing. She's planning an exit strategy during what should be some of the loveliest years together. Let her have her bank account, stop making big purchases, and get an annulment, dude." Allie in Toronto writes, "You should ask her what would happen if you lost your job. Would she support you the way you supported her?" When couples have separate accounts, their financial interests aren't aligned with their relationship interests. The data shows that relationships with joint finances are more successful. And what do you think about this situation? Did you go about it right? It's a little bit difficult to tell because we don't know everything that was spoken about before the relationship, before the marriage, and even recently. We're getting his side of it only. But from where I sit, it does look to be a little concerning. Tell us what you think in the comments, and thanks for listening.